Welcome to Hardcover Feedback. I'm Brandi Smits.
I'm Tracey Hill.
And today we will be discussing Mistress of the Art of Death by Ariana Franklin. In medieval Cambridge, 4 children have been murdered. The crimes are immediately blamed on the town's Jewish community. The Italian doctor chosen for the task of scientifically proving who committed the murders is a young prodigy from the University of Salerno. Her name is Adelia, a mistress of the art of death. As Adelia's investigations take her into Cambridge's river paths and its churches and nunneries, the hunt intensifies and the killer prepares to strike again.
The prior said, because even apostates had to be paid, and he pitied this one with all his heart. Mistress Adelia, I am in your debt and would wait my end of the scales. A boon, and with God's grace, I will grant it. Simon broke into a run. He'd seen that look of hers before. She had no judgment other than in medicine. She was about to ask the prior for his corpse when he died. My lord, he was panting. My lord, if you would grant a kindness, prevail upon the prioress to let Dr. Truchilla view little St. Peter's remains. It may be that she can throw light on the manner of his passing. Indeed, Prior Geoffrey looked at Vesuvia Adelia Rachel Ortiz Aguilar. And how may you do that? I am a doctor to the dead, she said.
This book was really awesome, really awesome. Yeah, I feel like this is, the best way to describe it, this is a Bones type show, like a Bones show, like the TV show Bones,
Yeah.
for a medieval setting. It's like a forensic anthropologist, but she is medieval and has no ability to do anything that we would do today. No X-rays, nothing. It's all just purely almost magic.
Yeah.
And it was considered to be some kind of a witchcraft phenomena for people to be able to dissect dead people and whatnot.
It was considered the kind of work that she does. Okay, her whole life has been unusual. She was adopted by 2 doctors who allowed her to educate herself in the same field without anyone giving her any problem with that, to the point where she was allowed to study cadavers and learn more of these techniques that medical examiners use today, even though at the time, which is set in Henry II's era, it was considered immoral, it was considered illegal, and she could have been killed for it easily. She could have been killed just for being a doctor. So she's defying all these different conventions just to do the thing that she feels so strongly that she needs to do, that she's good at, that she cares about doing. And as the excerpt indicated, she's not that great with living people sometimes.
Which is also it was like Bones.
Yeah,
it's like if you, and I've never read the series that the TV show is based off of.
Neither.
But in the TV show, they're very I could see Adelia being the exact same way. Like when I saw her, talking to people or whatever, in my head I was picturing the actress from the TV series. It goes so well. So this is one of those read-alikes. If you like, if you're interested in that, I would definitely pick this up because there's a lot of connections. And I know you don't watch the show, so that's fine.
But I have read a little bit of the CAD Files series, which is a similar book series, much older than this one, but the detective in that instance is male. He does not use the invasive kind of techniques that Adelia has no problem using whatsoever. She's very skilled. She's a great doctor, but she can't tell anybody she's a doctor.
Right.
It's unusual. The heroine of this story is unusual, but also akin to shows like Bones or CSI. The crimes that she ends up investigating in this, they're just positively brutal. They involve children, so right there, that's going to hit a lot of people where they live. but the crimes themselves are so ugly and so horrendous, and really the author Franklin could have let this deteriorate into something really sordid, and yet the shock of all of the living people around these poor children who disappear and that are found dead, their shock, their horror, their desire for finding the criminal is what keeps the story from sliding into something really ugly.
And I was going to actually bring this up, so I'm glad that you did. It's not a gratuitous story.
Yes, gratuitous.
It's not
right. It's
over the top.
absolutely not.
It's not a shock factor. There's a reason why these murders were so gruesome. There's a reason why she goes into the detail that it goes into, because like I mentioned in the synopsis of it, the people in the town assumed, because they had to point a finger at somebody, that the Jewish community were killing these kids as rituals for whatever reason, to the point that they were like attacking the Jews in the community. So I think that if she would have skipped over some of the details that she included, or didn't make it as gruesome as she did, it would have been harder for the readers to come to the point of where the townspeople were.
Right.
So I think that that's important to note as well. It's not gratuitous. If you don't like really gruesome, invasive stories about problems, coming to children, then I wouldn't pick it up.
Yeah.
But this also is the first book in a series, so there's also that. The other books aren't going to be exactly like this one. So if you can muster through this one, then you pick the other ones up.
Yeah, and it's really worth pursuing. It is a very worthwhile read, because another thing Franklin is extremely good at is building that sense of time and place. She fleshes out the socioeconomic environment that Adelia comes to in England from Salerno, and as Adelia has to get used to being in this new land, so do we. And so Franklin's very good at introducing us to that, and also the supporting cast is really solid. I mean, they're well developed, and I felt sorry if anything happened or was threatened to happen to one of them too, because they were so fully realized.
And this it is important to note the characters, because the solution of the murder is very shocking, because of the fact that Franklin does a good job of making you feel for everybody in the community.
Yes.
So you don't know what's going to happen, and when it does, you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it, oh my goodness. And you get really like almost upset about it, just as upset as I'm sure Adelia was when she determined who committed the crimes.
Yeah, and I was pretty unhappy when the solution came out, but the build toward it was so inevitable.
And
it's
it
like,
wasn't cheap.
No, let it not be this one. Oh, it's gonna be this one. It's this one.
But it wasn't cheap.
No,
it wasn't
not
like
at
thrown
all.
in there like, and now to shock you all with our conclusion to Mistress of the Art of Death, the killer is, and you're just like, what?
Yeah, no, there was a logic to it.
It was
and
good.
The internal logic was great, and it was so character driven too. And speaking of characters, I just got to throw in, I love Henry II. How the King of England is portrayed in this, it's just amazing. He is such a delight. He's just frightening, and he's funny, and I wonder and I hope that the real man was something like this person. So.
All right, let us rate this. I have given this one 3 stars today.
Yeah. And I also gave it 3 stars because the kids, I mean, that really did get to me, and I was reluctant. It was handled well. I just, hesitate to give higher than that to something that relies on kids.
Okay. Thank you for watching Hardcover Feedback. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.